before I dive in today, both for the people here and those that are watching remotely, I have to start with a little confession. And that's that when I was doing my research, I leaned in heavily on ChatGPT, heavily. And a few others. I use Perplexity and I use Claude. But what was so interesting is I asked AI to help me do research and update my outline of my speech for you all. And what was cool was within 3 seconds, right? I got back some amazing research, some incredible statistics that were very helpful, and an outline of what I could talk about today. So it really jump-started my thinking. And it saved me a lot of time until I dove into the information. And I will tell you that, and you should always do this, when I checked the sources, many of them weren't real. Many of the links were broken. Many of them were old. Of course, my kids laughed at me. They're like, you never use ChatGPT for sources, Mom. They use other ones for school. But then the other thing that was interesting was the outline that it gave me. And the outline, while it was very structured, it was like every other speech I've seen on innovation. It was really boring. And I've given a lot of speeches on it. So what was missing for me was not just the right sources, which matters, but also the human experience, the empathy of knowing what you're going through and what is scary about it, my voice, and the stories. And so that's why I ended up writing it from scratch. And this really makes me think about a couple questions of why we're here today. So let me just see a show of hands of how many people think that innovation is going to be critical for Region's success going forward. Right. I'm always curious who doesn't raise their hand with that. You're fired. Okay. So but how many people think that AI is going to play a critical role in that success? Okay. I agree. But let's now leap forward, let's call it 10 years, 2035. A little less than 10 years. And you are now on the cover of Fast Company magazine. Congratulations. And here's what the headline says. It says, how Regions transformed in the AI era, the innovations that sparked its success. And let's think about why you earned that title. Was it because you had the best technology, or was it because you had the boldest thinking? And I'm going to tell you it's because you had the boldest thinking, and here's why. Pretty soon, AI is not going to be the competitive advantage that we think, because everyone will have it. Fun fact, only 8.4% of the population has ever even used or heard of AI. So you are in a very small minority of people. But much like the internet, which for those of you here that have a few city miles like I do, can remember when the internet first came out and everyone had to hire a webmaster because the webmaster was going to own all the things internet. And you had to have a website, which was really kind of crappy. It was terrible. And you were going to play games on the website all day. And then pretty soon it just became infrastructure. It became plumbing, just like cloud did, just like SaaS things did. And so the same thing will happen to some degree with AI. And so what that really makes us think about is that AI's role in this might be a little different than you think. So AI obviously can help us collate things, summarize things, edit things, find patterns, bring together data that much faster than we can. But what it can't do is it can't create a problem solve yet. It doesn't decide. It doesn't have judgment, and it doesn't have the responsibility and accountability that we do. So when you think about it, I think in the future, human capability, actually, is the era that we're in and will be the strategic advantage. Because a lot of the things that AI does are fantastic, but what it can't replace is the human brain. And so today, what I want to talk about in our speech is how to help you better innovate and create the space for it, but understand AI's role in that space for innovation, because it might be different than you think. The future is going to be AI supported, but it is going to be human led.